But yeah, a lot of them have like a little something that drives them there. Maybe a little pain, maybe something that's like, yeah. So for me, that was it. I mean, I kind of talked about it, how I got into it, right? It was a way to have confidence. But also the flip side of that is like, that's how you rely on doing this thing to give you a stronger ego, which if your ego is really weak and you don't have confidence, that's not good.
Right.
But then if you rely on this one thing, that's your identity, that's also not healthy, I don't
Right.
think. So I think I kind of ended up in that situation where it's like, okay, I'm a bike racer and that's like my whole identity.
What's going on, everybody? My name is JP, and I want to welcome you here to the Stable Cyclist podcast, where we talk about bikes, life mentality, and when the occasion arises, mental health. It has been a very exciting month of August for us here. We started off with Brad Huff, and then we had an emergency podcast with me and Derek Wallace and Aaron Haugen talking about the Matahe 100. We followed that up with Catherine Taylor last week, and this week my friend Inno is here. If you've listened to the library, you've heard interviews with Chase Wark where he references Inno. We've heard Inno talked about in other situations, but you're going to get to meet him today. I was able to sit down with him at a bike shop in Grand Forks when we were all up in North Dakota for the Nepomuk Narly in Pisic, North Dakota. And I just have to say, I have no affiliation with this race, but this is maybe the purest grassroots gravel event I have been at in a very long time. It is one of the most unique events. It has, for the pros or the elites, it has a huge payout. It is hosted by the town of Pisic, and the race director is Father Jason LaFour from the Catholic Church in town. The town only has 89 people, and yet it seems like everybody in the surrounding communities and farmlands come and help put this thing on. And you can actually watch an episode of Off the Front, the docu-series I'm producing with Chase Wark this summer. The fourth episode of that series focuses on the race in Pisic, the Nepomuk Narly, and Chase's battle with Adam Roberge. It is an exciting story to tell, and of course, as we have in all the Off the Front episodes, we dive into Chase's life as well. And all of those episodes can be found on Chase Wark's YouTube channel, so I would encourage you, when you're done listening to this or watching this, to head over there and make sure you haven't missed any of those episodes. So far this year, we've gone to Unbound, and then we went to Lutsen, or the Lutsen 99er, then we were at Lion's Heart Gravel Classic in Mandan, and then at Pisic. And this week, as you are listening to this, I am in Lincoln, Nebraska, where we are filming Gravel Worlds and the final episode of the series. So it's a very exciting time, and through all of those stories, Inno is kind of threaded through the history. He doesn't show up in the episodes, but when I knew he was going to be in Pisic, I reached out to him and said, hey, let's meet at the bike shop in Grand Forks and sit down for this interview, and that's what you're going to get to listen to and watch shortly. Now, a reminder that the Stable Cyclist podcast is sponsored by Flow Formulas, and as I bragged in the last episode, I had a really good Matahe 100 a few weeks ago, and that is a brutal 100-mile backcountry mountain bike race in the Badlands of North Dakota on the Matahe Trail. And during that race, my nutrition was as follows. I drank 3 gallons of Flow Formula's high sodium mix, and that was combined with either the lemon lime mix or the blueberry agave mix, and that hit the spot all day long. I ran it at about 100 to 120 grams per hour, carb-wise. I also mixed in the Flow Formula chews, which are like gummies. They taste amazing, and they provide a good amount of carbs as well. And of course, I mixed in some Red Bull as well. One other question that you might have is, did I have any GI distress with all of that? And I had zero, none. I have had no GI distress ever using Flow Formula's products. It's been great. And if you're planning an adventure or getting ready for something, whether it's a massive lifetime milestone race like the Mahahe 100, or perhaps you are getting ready for just a weekend adventure or some daily training, Flow Formulas in your bottle, I promise you, will help you go faster and make you feel better. You also, like I said, can use the Endurance Chews. They're really good. They also have an amazing recovery mix and some electrolyte mixes and many other things at your disposal if you would like. And if you go to checkout, you can use the code JohnPeter15 to get a little discount in your cart. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed with the product. Okay, enough of all that. Let's get Inno into the studio. Innokenty Zavyalov is the full name, right? Did I get it?
You did. You
okay,
did.
all right. Welcome to Grand Forks, man. We are
Thank
here
you.
for Nepomuk Narly in Pisic.
Yeah.
And it's raining like crazy.
It is. Yeah.
And what's this course like when it's rainy?
The gravel drains really well, but there's sections where you'll go through literally like the middle of a cornfield or a soybean field or a wheat field.
Sure.
And it is just dirt, like mud.
Of course.
Mud dirt.
Yeah. Of course. Well, you are from Minneapolis area.
Yep. That's where I grew up.
I think the story goes back further than that because that's not where you were born, correct?
Yeah. I was born in Russia in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
And I moved here as a kid when I was 10 to Minneapolis. Yeah.
Okay. And what was that coming here? I spent a long time working in ESL, working with students in your situation, but what was that like coming here, and what was it like language learning? Because I think that's such a huge challenge.
Yeah.
And especially to be trying to navigate school at the same time. So what was that experience like for you?
Yeah. I mean, of course it was weird. It was exciting. You know, as a kid, like Russia in the 90s was pretty rough. Like we had a food shortage in the 90s. So, and thankfully like my grandparents grew a lot of their own food. So we were fine, but there was still like, you know, I remember like standing in line, like just things that you would like read in history books, like standing in line for food because there's a shortage of food and you got to stand in line to like, if you want bananas that come in once a month, like you got to stand in line for an hour to get like some fruit or whatever, a bag of flour or whatever it is. So, I mean, that coming from that to like Amazon, right? Like order and like, you know, it was just my mom and me and my sister here, and she was at the U of M and was getting paid like a stipend. It wasn't even like a full job. It was just like a research stipend. But even that felt like so much like resources for us. So I don't know. I can't say it was hard or bad, or as a kid it was just a lot of new things and a lot of different schools. So I went through a bunch of schools, but like the American ESL program, or at least in Minnesota, is really good. So I came knowing like maybe 5 words, and within a year I was already speaking.
What part of Minneapolis were you living in at the time?
We moved around a bunch. So, I mean, for those who know Minneapolis and St. Paul, we lived in Frogtown first, and like, in St. Paul, southeast Minneapolis for a while, and then South Minneapolis.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of Powderhorn now.
And where do you meet the bike for the first time? As like, other than a little, maybe you met it in Russia but I want to hear how you get into bikes. Beyond just like, well, it was something to do. Well, as little kids, we would roam around. We had like a summer place. A lot of people who live in the city in Russia, like in the big cities, will have like a little cottage or a little cabin outside of the city, and that's where you can like grow some vegetables and go fishing and stuff. Kind of very Minnesotan in a way, very.
You know. And so there we had like our little bikes and we would roam around. There's like gravel roads and dirt roads, and we were pretty latchkey, and we would just roam the whole area. So that's maybe having that exploration and that freedom as a kid. It was really great. And when I came to the US, I really wanted that again. And just knew about it, right? It's like, it's a reference
you can
point.
Do that.
Like, okay, grab a bike and go explore, and it's really cool. So that kind of how it started, just exploring the neighborhoods and like where we lived, and then slowly turned into just like more functional, like getting around, right? Like
Sure.
didn't have a car, couldn't afford a car, but could afford $100 bike,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's a way to get around Minneapolis. I mean, as you know, Minneapolis is a huge bike city.
Yeah.
So, and there's a bike culture, and I was kind of into like the punk scene, and a lot of that culture was also into like bikes.
Did you have like
and
a swooping haircut that you would sweep to
anti-car.
the side within that punk culture?
At some point, yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just like messy hair and like a lot of patches.
Yeah, of course.
And like not washing your clothes on purpose because that's cool, that kind of stuff. But yeah, and then messenger culture kind of blended in with that punk culture.
Yeah, of course.
And I just thought messenger culture was super cool.
Yeah.
And this is like 2007, 8, 9. And yeah, like there was a big kind of revival in messenger culture at that point. I would say. So I was really attracted to that.
Yeah.
It just seemed really, really interesting and kind of extreme, and yeah, like a way to.
At some point in there, somebody planted some racing seeds in your heart with the Tour de France, no?
Yeah. So in high school, I had a French teacher, and we watched the Tour de France. That's like part of the country.
Sounds like the best teacher.
Yeah. We watched a little bit of the tour, and I was at that point I was commuting to the high school by bike.
Sure.
It was a smaller high school with no school buses, so it's like either that or you take the city bus.
Yeah.
Not as fun. And I was like, wow, I bike. Like these people are riding bikes, and it looks so cool and beautiful and aesthetic and epic. And that year it was ended up watching the Giro just by myself, and it was Denis Menchov against Danilo De Luca, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was just epic back and forth, and it's like 2009 Giro, just very emotional.
Crashed in the final time trial.
Yeah. He crashed in that final turn and gets back up and wins, and I mean, just so epic. And I was like, okay, like I'm Russian, he's Russian, bikes, like everything kind of started to click. And I just started to research. I didn't know anybody who raced bikes at all. Didn't know anybody who even rode in the kit. You know what I mean? Like it was just so far removed from that. But I just started to Google.
Okay.
And I found the track, the NSC Velodrome in Blaine.
Of course, yeah.
And that was an amazing way to start racing, a very affordable way to start racing. All I had to do is convince my mom to drop me off in the suburbs, and then and then just kind of started there and went full in, and it was like a way for me to. I was a really shy kid, and like kind of not a lot of self-confidence.
Sure.
So. Yes, racing was a huge way for me to kind of work on that, and
tell me more about that, because I think so many people who do race tend to be pretty like shy, introverted. We're here with Chase, right? Like he and I are two introverts hanging out all summer, and like I talk to so many people who are that introverted person, and the bike has been freedom to all of us, and working through, especially in adolescence and late adolescence, working through. So what did that look like for you? Why was that so effective for you?
Because it's like maybe the first time you're good at something, or like it kind of clicks.
Sure.
And it's cycling and sports in general is great because it's a very direct way in this very confusing world. It's a very direct way of applying effort and getting results. Right. That doesn't always work in general in life.
No, it doesn't.
But in cycling, it does. You ride your bike, you try, and then 90% of the time you'll get a better result if you try more. Or if you work harder. Right? So then, you ride more, you go to the gym, you get better results. And especially when you're starting out, like you see those results pretty much every time you train. Like it's pretty amazing. Pretty direct.
So I think a lot of people that might be familiar with your name associate with gravel. But you start out, like you said, on the track, and then you move to road. And you were seeing that progress until you moved to Europe to go chase the dream. And how did that go? And then, Yeah. Tell me about going to Europe.
Ooh, yeah. Kind of a little painful memory actually, but it's yeah. So I was on. I moved to South California, to like San Diego area. Started working with a coach there who was like really very intense coach, but like really moved me forward. Right. It was like a full. Yeah, I was like fully committed. Right.
Sure.
Everything was for the bike, and yeah, that really moved me forward. Like really hard training. I worked a little bit, but it was just like train, eat, sleep, like basically training like a pro.
Yeah.
And I had some success, and I ended up getting on KHS, and rode for KHS for 2 years. One of them was a pro, so like they went pro. The team went pro. I went pro with them. So I raced with them for a year, which is really great and really hard. And at the end of that year, my coach and my team director kind of had a falling out.
Okay.
I had a very controlling coach, which is part of the thing that made him good.
Yeah.
And also made him not good in other ways.
Yeah.
And I had to choose. I had to choose between my coach and the director and the team.
Yeah.
And I chose to stay with coach and pursue. The idea was like, okay, leave American racing, go like, you have enough power, you have enough like fitness to go make it in the Northern Europe where it's flat and you need a lot of power.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of misunderstood what Northern European racing is like. Even though it's like crosswinds and cobbles, it's actually really different than what I would imagine for those kind of courses. It's a ton of, I mean, of course, it's a ton of bike handling and pack handling.
Yeah.
But yeah, and really explosive. Like it's these tiny little roads that are maybe, you know, the size of a bike lane, a little wider, and then you make 90-degree turns. So you're like on this little road, there's trees on each side, maybe like a drop off, right? So you can't like go in the grass usually. And then you just make a 90-degree turn, and like 150 people make a 90-degree turn, and then it's just like 1,000 watts.
Yeah.
And then you like go hard for a bit, and then you're just coasting because you're just like in this tiny little pack.
Yeah.
And it's probably not very hard.
Yeah.
And then you make another 90-degree turn, and it's just like boom. And I was not ready for that kind of racing.
Yeah.
Just being more of like a diesel rider.
Sure.
Yeah, like I would usually excel longer time trials, longer, not super steep climbs, and lead out, like that kind of rider. So yeah, kicked my butt, but it was still really cool. Really
when you come out of that, like you said before, cycling, you put your time in, you come out, it usually gets better.
Yeah.
You had gone there, kind of got spit out the back.
Yeah.
How did you get back up from that? And what was next? What did that look like?
What was next? Well, COVID was next.
Okay.
Well, not really. There was another year. So there was another year of domestic racing.
Okay.
And that was actually, I think, by results, my most successful year.
Okay.
I ended up winning Chico stage race.
Sure.
I did pretty decent Valley of the Sun, I believe, that year. We won Redlands as a team. Some other stuff, and then COVID hit that following year. So yeah, I don't know. Everything kind of, it felt like was just happening, right? Like, and then we had a big fallout with that team.
Sure.
Like that was the coach's team. Anyway,
Gotcha.
some drama there. We don't need to go there, but as all teams do.
Yeah. Where does gravel start to come into this picture?
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard you tell stories about riding El Monzo on like a terrible bike to ride El Monzo on, but and maybe that's where this starts, but where do we get into like, this is going to be my career now?
Here. It was at Nepomuk Narly, and Chase invited me out. Like I was starting to ride again. It was kind of post-COVID. I kind of tried some other things. I went to massage therapy schools, did that for a little bit, and I just couldn't let racing go quite yet. And Was just starting to do little gravel, just exploring, exploring different kinds of racing. And Chase was like, "Hey, come out to this race in North Dakota. There's some big prize money, and no one's really registered." I'm like, "Okay, sure, that sounds fine." So I had like a cyclocross bike that I used, of course, early gravel. That's what gravel bikes were. And yeah, ended up doing well, winning, and met the director of the Mazda team, who came out here too.
Okay.
And then Chase was going to ride for them, so I talked to him, and we kind of started that and started that relationship. And then that's how I made it on the Mazda team for the next 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you know Chase before that?
Just through racing, through Minnesota racing. Sure. We raced together on a little team for a bit called Guillotine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just through the local scene.
Okay. So then as you race for Mazda.
Yeah.
And like every story basically from that point until late last summer that Chase tells me, you're in that story at some point about, well, Inno was there. We're going to see Inno, or I was in a break with Inno, or we decided to work together.
Yeah.
What does that time look like for you going around? And how did you feel about, like, you said, I went to massage therapy school.
Yeah.
I couldn't shake this racing bug.
Yeah.
Were you feeling fulfillment during that time in racing still? Or was it just something to do, or...
That's a great question, and then maybe this goes into mental health.
Well, yeah, and because I look at it from the outside, like I just met you, like whenever I met you a couple weeks ago, and at Lutzen we met.
Yep.
But from watching on the outside, I'm like, I think this guy's kind of having an identity crisis in here somewhere that eventually lands you in Asia.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to get there yet, but I want to know what's going on in your head during all this racing, where you're just kind of plugging away. But eventually I know that you're kind of unsatisfied with where things were at.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we can talk about like bike racing in general, why people race bikes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a lot of people race bikes in America at an elite level, not to make a living, right? Like there's some kind of drive that starts that, and maybe they like World Tour racing or something like that, but it's very different from, like in Europe, people race because it's like, you either go to the factory and work or you go race pro.
Yes.
Like it's very direct, and it's like, it would be like being a football, like going to the NFL here, like being inner city or going to one of the big teams.
Yes.
But being an American bike racer there's something different going on. And I mean, I love my friends who are bike racers. But yeah, a lot of them have like a little something that drives them there. Maybe a little pain, maybe something that's like, So for me, that was it. I mean, I kind of talked about it, how I got into it, right? It was a way to have confidence. But also the flip side of that is like, that's how you rely on doing this thing to give you a stronger ego, which if your ego is really weak and you don't have confidence, that's not good.
Right.
But then if you rely on this one thing, that's your identity, that's also not healthy, I don't think. So I think I kind of ended up in that situation where it's like, okay, I'm a bike racer and that's like my whole identity.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't think that was a very healthy way of racing. Yeah.
When did you start realizing that?
I mean, slowly. Yeah, I think slowly. I kind of always felt like I was missing something or like searching for something, and I think cycling fulfills that in a way. You're constantly moving. Yeah. You're exerting energy. Yeah. So you're like tired. So you kind of wear out your existential dread in a way.
Yes. It's a great coping mechanism until it's not.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's a pretty healthy, exercise is an incredible, mood booster, antidepressant.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah.
But like you said, if it's the only thing, it can get to be a little dangerous.
Yeah. And I just started thinking about like getting a little older. Like I just turned 34. And I was like, okay, like what do I want my life to look like? And but all these realizations really started to happen through study of Buddhism or just spirituality in general.
Yeah.
And Buddhism is like, people call it a religion, but it's like kind of a philosophy and just kind of a guide.
Yeah,
It's just like a guide how to live. So it's very direct. Like I think it works really well with like maybe a cyclist brain or a Western brain, where it's like, okay, you have a problem, here's a solution.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So like if I'm not satisfied, like there's a solution. There's a solution for that. So yeah, it's just kind of started to have some realizations, and then that's where Thailand comes in.
Okay.
I went to Thailand. It's a very Buddhist country, and ended up coming back there another time. So first time I went there was just for cycling.
Okay.
Second time I went there was to go meditate.
Okay.
And yeah, I went to a temple and meditated for a few weeks, and really wonderful program, like meditation program. And yeah, after that, I think I just started thinking about life a little differently. And yeah. So I think, not maybe realizing that cycling is not going to solve everything, right?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick interruption to remind you that the Stable Cyclist podcast is sponsored by Works Cycling Services. Works Cycling Services, yes, it is a coaching service, but probably much more important to you is that it is a race directing service as well. And they have 4 of the best grassroots races that you can participate in the upper Midwest. You got Granny's Gravel Grinder, which is right in central Minnesota in Princeton, and there are multiple distances that you can come and participate in, whether you want to bring your kids and do a shorty, or you're chomping at the bit as an elite and you want to race over 100 miles. Then in mid-June, you have the Hot Dish down near Winona, Minnesota. There is no better beautiful Minnesota riding than in Bluff Country down in southeastern Minnesota. And that race, again, has multiple distances that you can race. Again, from shorter distances up to 100-mile plus distances. Then early August, first weekend just happened, is the Day Across Minnesota, the Dam. That's the big daddy of the 4. That is an ultra-endurance adventure that starts at midnight in Gary, South Dakota, and finishes across the river in Wisconsin once you make your way across the great state of Minnesota. And finally, things round out with the Filthy 50, which of course is a 50-miler in Lanesboro. It is a beautiful time of year in October when the leaves are changing. That, of course, was originally started to help get people who maybe are scared of the 100-mile distance into gravel. So all of these events are great places to get new people involved in gravel racing and gravel riding and having an adventure. And if you've got that friend that maybe you think is a little bit scared to come and do something new, bring them ride with them. I saw at the Matahe how important it is to have a friend with you the whole day who's just got your back and can be your wingman. So find somebody in your community and bring them to one of these events and do the shorter distances. You still get all the vibes and the good atmosphere that comes with these races. And if you come to Granny's Gravel Grinder, you're still going to get a hug from Grandma no matter what distance you do. So as you plan your 2026, yes, we are already doing that, planning 2026, be sure to be looking at workscyclingservices.com and the races on offer there, because I promise you, you will not be disappointed with any of the choices available. All right, back to our interview. I don't know if there was a point where you kind of like announced like, I'm done bike racing at the level I've been doing. Like you're obviously here to race this weekend.
Yeah.
But I don't see you racing like you were before. You've kind of moved away from social media completely.
Yeah.
Which is great, I think, if you have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
But was there a moment in there where you were just like, okay, it's time to move on and go to what's next? Or did that happen before, during, or after your trip to Thailand?
Yeah, I've had a few. I mean, I'm sure as many pros or many elite cyclists or just cyclists in general, you have moments where you're like, I think I'm quitting.
Yeah.
And then you're back in, right? Like you have a couple of weeks, you're like, I don't know, I think I'm done. and then you miss it and you get
Yeah.
back in.
It was
And
a pretty good coping mechanism.
yeah. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but
Right.
yeah, I want to grow. Like, I wanted to grow further
Yeah.
as a person and just be a better man, like more adult.
Mm-hmm.
And cycling, like being a pro cyclist, is kind of like being a kid, you know? Like, I never learned how, like, you're always on the road, and I don't know, maybe the way I did it was like a kid.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
I don't
Like,
think you're wrong. Like,
yeah.
and I've spent much of the summer on the road following around pros. And like, for those of you that are wondering, Chase is sitting like 10 feet away, so I'm not like talking disparagingly about him without him here. But I think it's a hard thing for a lot of the pros to work through, of like that this feels like very selfish.
Yeah.
It's also my job.
Yeah.
Especially when they have families. It's really hard to like balance it all out. And so, yeah, what you're saying is totally on point.
Yeah.
That it's just, it can feel very, I'm still a high school kid doing my thing. And
Yeah, a little bit, you know, like, yeah, just living on the road and having this awesome life, by the way. Really cool life.
No, exactly. Like, I'm not telling anybody to stop riding your bike. Like,
Yeah.
go ride it and be healthy, have good brain space, all that. But
Yeah.
I think there comes points where, like, the balance of it all is really difficult.
Yeah.
And especially for the pro lifestyle, the balance can be very difficult.
Well, like being an elite athlete, being a pro athlete is not balanced.
No.
Like, by definition. If you want to be the best or the top 1% or one of the best, like, you have to do things other people don't do. Like, you're not going to do normal things.
Yes.
You can't be normal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And you're living a very, like, monkish is not the right word, because you're like not self-reflecting at all in that life, but you're living this like secluded life away from people.
Yeah.
As part of this traveling circus, and it's just a very weird.
Yeah.
You know, to be on the outside looking at it, it's really different to look at. But you come to the realization that like there's just something else I'm going to go do here.
Yeah.
What has that looked like for you since you've gotten back?
I think it's been difficult.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, I knew that it was going to be difficult, and I wanted that difficulty.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to challenge myself and grow as a person, and just move forward, like keep moving forward. Because maybe the reason why I got into cycling, or a lot of people do, is to like improve yourself and to be, I don't know, like kind of transcend yourself in a way.
Yeah.
But being in cycling for so long, maybe the way I was doing it, at least, I just felt like I was stagnant.
Sure.
I was not, like, it was comfortable. It was comfortable. It's hard physically, kind of, but like, you know, I could just keep doing the same thing, and it's just like, not exciting anymore, or like not challenging as like for me to grow.
Yeah.
So
what does that look like now for you?
What does it look like now? I tried school. So I got on an amazing program to Savannah College of Art and Design.
Okay.
And this is probably great for people to know. They have a full ride scholarship. The only one, or one of the two in the whole nation, maybe the whole world, for a full ride college cycling scholarship. So really cool opportunity. If someone wants to study art and design, and they're like kind of elite level or getting there, definitely look into it, reach out to them. And did that, and I love art, and design is really cool. But like settling in from being a cyclist, and like my side gigs have always been like bike messenger, bike mechanic, or like really hands-on and outside. I can't work in an office. I just can't. Like, I'm not wired that way.
Yeah.
So, I decided that, I need to go work outside. And, so I'm kind of pursuing different direction now. And
how has that been, trying to, I guess, where have you stayed grounded then? Because like, if your identity was tied up a lot in cycling before, and now you're kind of trying to like figure out the new path.
Yeah.
Where do you pin your identity at this point? And maybe it's your religious beliefs now and all that. But to me, so much of where at times our mental health can start to fall apart is tied to identity and
Yes.
like insecurities and all those
Yep.
things that we do kind of have some control over.
Yeah.
And so I'm always curious when people are like navigating that path, like what does that look like right now for you, and where are you finding yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. So I also had a really big breakup.
Okay.
Right at this time. So there's a bunch
There's
of
a
like
massive
things,
identity change. Yeah.
a bunch of things that kind of hit me really hard. But yeah, I think the study of Buddhism and Zen, like that philosophy, it really helps because it talks about like, you don't like the way of escaping this like suffering that we feel, the existential dread or whatever that I think everybody feels at some point.
100%.
Is by not identifying, right? Not identifying with things.
Yeah.
So I think exploring that, like you said, that religion or spirituality, philosophy, which is actually really similar to Stoicism too.
Yep, 100%. Yes.
It's incredible how similar Buddhism and Stoicism are.
Yeah.
So if anybody's has studied that, it's really, really similar. So just like being, maybe trying not to have a really strong identity.
Yeah.
And just being a human being, feeling feelings, doing things, loving people, not loving people.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just like the human, like enjoying the human experience and like all of it.
Yeah. One thing I want to talk about is you were pro. Mm-hmm. Your identity was fully tied to the bike.
Yeah.
You are still riding the bike. Some.
Like barely.
Barely. Okay. Yeah. What does it look like though when you do go ride the bike? Because I'm guessing when you were a pro, it was like, I'm going to go do 5 hours and I got to do these efforts and I got to do this many watts. What does riding a bike look like for you today in a, I would guess, a much healthier way?
I think right now I'm in the point where I'm being really careful with riding, where I don't want to hate the bike.
Sure.
I really don't want to hate the bike. So I don't train on the bike, right?
Yeah.
Like I've been going to the gym and that's been really cool. Like to just feel more like healthy overall, not just cycling in this like one direction. But like feeling just more able to move in different ways, which I think is really great. And
less skeletal.
Yeah. And I kind of like maybe a recommendation to other cyclists is like, I really wish I did that earlier as a cyclist.
Yeah.
To just be in the gym more and maybe do things, maybe be, put on a couple of pounds of muscle where you don't really need it for cycling, but like just the ability, the athletic ability and the balance and the health you get from that is so worth it.
Yeah. For sure. So why are you here racing the Nepomuk Narly?
I really wanted to support the race and the race director, Father Leffer. And it was like, it just feels like maybe a good bookend. This is where the gravel racing started. And so just, it's not too far from the cities and want to support the race. Want to support my friends, and I coach somebody who's racing. So kind of guide them through that. But yeah. Oh, and then maybe win some money.
Of course, always.
We'll see. That now it's like a new challenge of like, can I actually like do anything on the bike with like zero training? I've probably ridden, I don't know, like 40 hours this year. Maybe a little more.
It's like an experiment tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, probably a little more. If you include commuting and noodling around, probably more. But training, probably 40 hours of training for the year.
Okay.
It's almost August, so.
I'll clip this little intro. Is there anything we haven't covered from your career that you want to talk about?
From cycling career?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really cool. I'm really grateful for it. I got to try all kinds of disciplines and I kind of sometimes you wish for things differently, but maybe just as I tell everybody this, like consistency, just stay consistent. Maybe if you're not having fun for a little bit, that's okay. If you're trying to be an elite level, maybe don't change things externally, change things internally, of like how you look at it instead of like, maybe that's all it takes to like it again or experience it differently is like your internal interpretation of what's happening.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh, I don't like this kind of racing.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's really good advice.
Yeah. Like I think I could have been a pretty damn good crit racer, but I always told myself I'm not a crit racer.
Sure.
As an example.
Yes. Yeah. I hear a lot of stories like that.
Yeah, a
where
lot of
it's
people
like,
say,
just-
"Oh, crit's too crazy, too scary." It's
or
like,
fill in the blank with whatever kind of race. I just don't like
climbing.
that.
Yeah. Yep.
Sweet. Okay. This is what the fans show up for, is these last questions.
Yes.
If I don't do them, people get upset. So this is kind of rapid fire, but you don't have to be quick in your answer.
Okay.
You and I are going to go on a bike ride.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's not going to be necessarily, we don't have to go on a long bomber. We can just go on a fun ride. And we're going to go to a gas station because it's fun to ride to a gas station.
Okay.
And we're going to get something to eat and drink while we're at this gas station. There's not like, no fancy quick trips. There's like rural America. We got the simple stuff.
Yeah.
What are you getting to eat and drink?
Oh God, I'm probably gonna walk around for like 20 minutes looking at the ingredient lists. But probably, if I don't care about performance, I would get beef jerky because that's like real food, and get like some kind of either normal water or milk or just something without a bunch of stuff in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But as when I was a bike racer, it would be like candy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's pretend like we're not worried about health at all. We're just
Back in the bike racer days, different kinds of candies, sour Patch Kids,
Okay.
or like sour candies.
What are we getting to drink in this time of plenty?
Like electrolyte water.
Okay.
And be really careful about there's a really good story. I once got a bunch of monsters that I thought were not caffeinated.
Oh boy.
Because they were like the hydros, right?
Sure.
And I was like hydro, okay, hydration, and then
No, it's still got like
I read
100
the label and it was like, okay, these are caffeinated, these are not, and I got like 5 of them, and it was super hot, and I drank all 5, and it was like 1,000, it was like a gram of caffeine, and I almost died.
I was gonna say you're lucky you didn't die if you took in that much.
I was like, it was really bad. It was scary.
Good.
So check your caffeine
Read
content.
your labels for caffeine content. Okay, next question. Are you a music listener?
Yes.
Okay. What's in your playlist right now?
I'm learning to play the banjo, like old time music. Clawhammer banjo. I think it's amazing. It's like this ancient sound has like African origins and English Isles, like Ireland, and it's a blend of the two. It's really amazing. Probably some picking banjo, clawhammer music right now. Yeah.
When Punk Inno is riding around on his messenger bike, what was in your playlist then?
Ooh, Choking Victim, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you hear that today, do you feel very nostalgic?
Yeah. But man, punk music is so negative.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%.
I usually got it. I'm like, oh my God, this is not good for your psyche.
There's an Under Oath album that I really love, but I only can listen to on the bike.
Yeah.
And it's like I gotta be doing intervals, so I kind of have that anger in my belly.
For sure.
Because if I listen to it normally, I'm like,
actually,
this is bad.
Yeah, like internalize the lyrics. I'm like, oh, I don't believe that at
really
all.
Negative space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to. I almost forgot. People would burn down the podcast if I forgot this.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
Like, do I have to pick one?
Yeah. I'm sure you like both. That's an answer, but you got to choose sides here.
Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Gotta go Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you also like Harry Potter, the question people want to know is, what house do you believe you would belong to?
Ooh. Maybe Slytherin.
Oh, that a guy. That a guy. Yes, sir.
But I'd be good. I'd be a good Slytherin.
Well, yeah, like
they're not all bad.
No, we're
Life is complicated. Yeah. It's not black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell people, I'm like, 25% of us have to be Slytherin the way
Yeah.
that it breaks down. So,
Yeah.
all right. Tell me about, probably on your bike computer now, you don't even have one. But when you were racing,
Mm-hmm.
what did you like to have on your main screen?
Ooh.
Did you have
actually
like
good.
14 things like on it, or?
So I would, for gravel racing, I would have the map, and this is on the Garmin 1040, so it's
Sure.
like pretty big. I would have the map, I would have distance, and I would have another metric that I would change out. So sometimes it
sure.
would be speed,
Yeah.
or power. But I think most of the time, I would have distance and speed. And
Okay.
the reason why I like speed is because it helps for like staying aero.
Yeah.
And like
yes.
focusing on that. Like, okay, speed is important. Being efficient is important.
Yeah. That's a very pro answer. Like, a lot of people are thinking like always that you want to see watts. And I'm like,
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
talk to so many pros not on the podcast that are like, speed. I want to know what speed I'm going.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's because of the, like, how aero am I being?
Yeah.
And
Navigation, so not making wrong turns.
Yeah.
Knowing what mile you're at, so you know when the feed is coming up or some area that, some river crossing or something.
yeah.
And speed. And then on my other screen, I really liked paying attention to kilojoules, actually.
Okay.
And I found that, like for me, for my body, or also in general for most people, I think something happens around like 2,500 kj,
Yeah.
where it's like that's when if a brake goes, it'll probably stay.
Sure.
Like that's when people get tired enough.
Yeah.
Maybe it has to do with like glycogen reserves, but that's when people, especially people who don't train a ton,
Yeah.
that's when the people who don't train a ton can't follow anymore.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. This is kind of a two-parter. I'll ask the first one first. What's your favorite race that you ever did?
Ooh, the favorite race that I ever did. It was probably had to be some of like the pro road stuff.
Okay.
With like having a caravan, the car
Sure.
caravan was really cool. I did the Colorado Classic, even though I got cut, so I didn't even do the last day. But that was really neat because I got to be around like some pretty big names. I don't remember who.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some like people who I would see on TV.
Yeah.
Like the Trek team.
Sure.
And who else was there? I don't remember.
Yeah.
This was like 2017.
UCI guys.
UCI, like
Yeah.
World Tour UCI guys.
Yeah.
That I was riding next to. So that was neat. Yeah, that's a good memory.
Okay. So the second part of that question, I would normally ask like, what's a race you want to go do, but you're not really racing.
Yeah.
So I want to know like, where would you really like to go have an adventure if you were
Yeah.
going to have an adventure on a bike, like anywhere in the world? Where would you like to go?
I would love to ride like mountain bike pack in the Balkans, maybe,
Okay.
or like the Far East. Like
Sure.
there's a race
Yeah.
called the Silk Road.
Yep.
So maybe over there, or like Georgia, the country of Georgia. Yeah, like somewhere really remote and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, adventurous. Yeah.
All those places I've seen videos of biking there, and I'm like, that looks really sick.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome, man.
Great.
Well, thank you for
Thank you so much.
hanging out
Yeah.
today. And this is a conversation like since you left for Asia last year, I was
Yeah.
like, I got to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad we could make it happen. And I think like there's so many things you said today that are really meaningful to what people need to hear. So even if they,
Yeah, I don't have it figured out. Like I'm still processing my
Yeah.
retirement, but
it's all good, man.
Yeah.
It's all good. Thanks for hanging out with Inno and me today. If you liked the episode, as always, the best thing you can do is share it. But if you want to give the algorithm a little kickstart, you can also, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you give us a thumbs up or give us a comment, and make sure you are subscribed. And if you are listening on Spotify, you can also give us a comment there, or give us a 5-star review if you have not done so. Please and thank you. And the same goes for Apple Podcast. If you're listening on there, please give us a 5-star review. It does help move the needle with the algorithm. So I cannot thank you enough, as always, for being here, for helping the podcast grow, and ultimately for supporting what I am trying to do. I hope you are well. I do hope you can get outside and have an adventure of some kind today, whether it's on your bike or not. But most importantly of all, I hope you remember that you are loved.